Okay, nice.
Lovely to talk to you. Take care. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Right, now sitting with me now are two very young ladies who, well, they were very even younger when they started, private detectives. Now, okay, I've got Isla McKinnon and Marnie. Marnie, I don't have your surname. What's your surname?
Higgins.
Marnie Higgins, yep. Right, okay. I'll speak to you first, Isla. Tell me how you started in the world of being a private detective at the tender age of 17.
I first got involved with the mystery shopping campaign, which is all to do with the licence trade. And we start by, we work with Challenge 21 and Think 21, going into shops, supermarkets or pubcos and bars, and testing out their ID testing policies and whether their staff are, how the staff are asking for ID, and making sure that they ask everybody who looks under 21. We'd quite often go in looking particularly young, even in school uniform sometimes, which was horrible, being 17 and having to go back into school uniform, but it's all right now. And quite often we weren't asked for ID, and we're hired by the company itself, by the managers or the MDs and that sort of thing, and then they ask us to test out their staff.
And so then you report back to them if you haven't been asked. And do you have to sort of name the staff that didn't ask you? Or?
Sometimes we do. We always have our body-worn cameras with us and voice recorders. So we often have sort of proof and evidence of who it was that asked us or didn't ask us.
And then, of course, I suppose they're retrained to actually then do this. So from there then, and you did this as well, Marnie, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think you could both still get away with doing this now. You have to be 21 for alcohol, don't you?
Well, you have to, if you look under 21, the policy, and it's in fact now gone up to 25 in a lot of shops.
Yes.
Their staff are supposed to ask you if there's any query as to whether or not you are that age. They have to ask you, and it's all to do with just making sure there's no error of margin at all. So you get 18-year-olds that do look 26 years old, or if they look 23, they should still be asked. Basically, if anyone looks under 25 or as it was 21, they should ask.
Oh, so it's only if you look that age, not if you are that age.
Legally you have to be 18.
Yes.
But it's the Challenge 21 came into place originally. Actually, it's for the licensed trade. It's for protecting them themselves, because obviously there are huge fines attached to anyone serving people under the age of 18. The actual vendor will get into trouble. The company will get into trouble. It can big fines, or having your license revoked, or at least looked at. So what we do, in contrast to how training standards do it, they do it to actually go and catch people out, and they'll send in 14-year-olds, and if they get served or they don't get ID'd or the proper policies aren't used, fines and things go into place. We're the step before that. So a company hires us, we let them know where the gaps are so that they can sort those out.
They can put it right before they're penalised for getting it wrong. Yeah. Yes. And so is this what you're doing now as well, or?
We still do some of it. I started off by doing that, and then was asked to come in and help with some computer forensics, sort of data logging. Ended up going in for, I think, 2 weeks and not leaving, so I'm still there. That was about 2 years ago. So we do, both of us personally do a wide variety of other things as well, but yes, the mystery shopping is still going on, and we have a big sort of team of youngsters and juniors who do it.
So is this your company, Marnie, or do you work for another company?
No, we work for a company called Answers Investigation. The web address is answers.uk.com.
Right.
That's the main company. It spins off of that. The Challenge 21 and Think 21 have actually got their own websites. It's still the same company. The company runs the campaigns. But obviously, because it's a huge phenomenon, to be testing it. So with the challenge21.co.uk, think21.co.uk are offsets of the main company website. So the actual company is a private detective company covering a huge amount of things, split into 3 sectors roughly: corporate, legal and private. And Isla and I are both involved in all sorts of different things that come under all of those headings. Challenge 21 being the way that a lot of our younger set have actually got involved with the company in the first place.
Because I suppose did you just sort of answer an advert, think that's a good way to make a few bob?
Yeah, I had a friend who was asked to do it and couldn't, so suggested me, and that's how I got into it. So just luck, really.
Some of our people have come from drama groups.
Oh yeah.
We did to get some promotional pictures for the campaign. We went to a local drama group and took photos with everyone with their real ages, one without, one with, so people sort of guess how old do you think that person is, and found a few people from there that sort of carried on. And again, Emily is another of our people. We found her through the drama group, and she's in fact started coming on board with various other jobs as well. So it's a kind of snowball effect, and I think the thing with the company, the nature of the work, is that we just get stuck. We don't ever want to leave, so I mean, they can never get shot of us.
I should think it's so interesting, because no 2 days will ever be the same.
Absolutely
Never.
not. Not at all.
I mean, what other kind of things have you done?
The company, as Marnie said, corporate, legal and private work. But within each of those, we do various different things. I mean, surveillance, undercover work, which we both do quite a lot of.
Do you? What sort of things? Or aren't you allowed to say?
Well, I mean, various things. The beauty of the fact that we look young and look sort of non-threatening is that people will give us a lot of information, and people tend to sort of say things that perhaps they wouldn't say to a 50-year-old gentleman.
Right.
So if we're going in, perhaps, I mean, I've gone undercover once, again, as a schoolgirl, and spoken to the coach of a swimming team, who thought that I was going in to join the club, and he gave me a lot of information about the committee and that sort of thing, which actually helped our client and got some evidence for them. What other undercover stuff?
I mean, when you say private ones as well, do you get lots of women having their men followed, or men having their women followed?
That's the stereotypical reaction you get. If you tell someone you're a private detective, or do you go and watch them?
Yes.
Of course we do. I mean, it's a small percentage, but it's a percentage, of course. And that's another time that we can actually come in quite useful. The other things that are private, things such as, well, they're legal and private, things like child maintenance. Quite often you'll have a separated or divorced couple, and one party isn't paying the correct amount of money. Quite a lot. This is not generalising, but it is sort of just how it's been. Men that have sort of left the family are saying they can't afford to pay the child maintenance because they're living in some horrible bedsit. They don't even have a car. They can't. So the beauty of what our age, again, is and it's a technique we use a lot, is actually just devising some sort of school-looking survey and just walking straight up to the door. Obviously, we do doors in the area as well, so it looks like we're doing everyone. Yes. And we just ask them, how many vehicles do you have? How many people live here? How long have you lived here? What's your average income? And the thing is, it's a natural thing of humans to naturally want to boast. So it's happened before. You get two young girls on your doorstep, and this man tells us, yes, I've got 4 cars, I've been living with my partner for this long, we've got this many other children that are herds, we have 6 dogs, 2 horses, and that's the kind of information that they just won't give away.
Lethal when that gets back to the ex-wife.
Absolutely.
Wow. So you work in pairs, do you?
Generally,
most of the time working teams.
I mean, obviously people can't see you. I guess we have to keep your identity a secret of what you look like. But I mean, anyone that, on the website or listening, I can tell you there's 2 very, very lovely looking girls here, very young looking. I mean, I can imagine anyone you go and try and talk to will talk to you. Yeah. I mean, you have a great selling point there.
People just don't have defenses at all when they're stood in front of, especially in school uniform. No one is going to think, this schoolgirl at my door must be working for my wife's solicitor to get me. They just don't.
This is a cautionary tale for people listening. Yeah. And is there a lot of training involved?
There's quite a lot. I mean, when you say training, we don't have sort of a set program that we have to go through. It's more you just join in and you go out on exercises and operations, and you're made part of it from the word go. Really, I mean, quite a lot of the people that we've hired, we've managed to call and say, what are you doing tomorrow? Come up to London and come and do this surveillance with us, and that's training on surveillance.
Yeah. I think even our boss, who's people that started the company sort of 15 years ago, still learn things now. I mean,
yes, of course, things change.
I mean, there is now a degree or a diploma that you can do in private investigations. But when someone phones up asking for a job and they say, do I need such? No, you don't. It's probably the biggest qualification you need is common sense.
Yeah.
Communication, patience, and the ability to change a plan within seconds.
So you've got to be able to think on your feet.
Absolutely.
That's be intuitive. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, because now obviously more and more youngsters out on the job market. graduate schemes not quite as plentiful as they were. Yeah. I should imagine a lot of people will apply wanting to join.
An awful lot of CVs per week, and the thing is there aren't always a huge amount of full-time positions, but we've got a mass number of part-time and casual workers. And as Isla said, you can get a call on your Friday night, 9 o'clock. What are you doing tomorrow? Well, I was going to have a lie-in. Well, you're not.
Yeah, you're not anymore.
And so we've got people sort of a huge skill set from having sort of...
Because you'll need lots of different looking type of people. You might need young boys for something young, Precisely. Okay, and so do you run a whole section, you two, then? It sounds like you kind of do.
We have this sort of teen detective sort of thing at the moment. I mean... We
effectively probably because Isla's working full time at the moment. I've actually gone to uni, but still sort of within reach to be able to do things.
Either. Where are you at uni then?
I'm at Brunel, so West London.
So you can still do stuff.
Within reach,
fascinating, gorgeous, lovely to have you here. If people want to hear more about it, because we're running out of time, which website do they go to?
www.answers.uk.com is the main site, or teendetective.co.uk is our site dedicated to us. And I said the Challenge 21, think21.co.uk have got all the licensed trade information, but obviously they're all linked up. So
lovely. Okay, well, a warning to the listeners: if two really lovely looking girls knock on your door in school uniform saying, "Could I just ask you a couple of questions?" batting their very, very long eyelashes, say, "Go away." Lovely. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Love having us.
Lovely. Thank you. I've been doing this show now sort of